If you look at the branding for LG's new flagship G5 OLED at CES 2025 and compare it to how Panasonic marketed its own flagship Z95B OLED TV, you could be forgiven for thinking that they use completely different OLED display technologies. However, this couldn't be further from the truth, because both the LG G5 and the Panasonic Z95B use the same next-generation 4-stack W-OLED panel from LG Display. In fact, there is a third TV brand who has also showcased an OLED TV featuring the new 4-stack OLED panel, but kept it secret. More on this later. Now, judging from what I witnessed at CES, I believe that this new 4-stack OLED panel provided the most dramatic improvement in brightness and more importantly color from one W-OLED generation to the next, surpassing even the luminance boost offered by MLA or microlens array technology, which, interestingly, has been discontinued after 2 years. I mean, Leonardo DiCaprio has had relationships that lasted longer. While I could only assess the LG G5 and the Panasonic Z95B based on specially curated demo content in dynamic mode at CES, their rich and vibrant colors delivered an emotional impact that almost matched the wow factor of QD-OLED TVs in vivid mode. QD-OLED still offers a little something extra that gives it the edge, but the gap in color luminance between QD-OLED and W-OLED has never been closer. And given the higher cost of QD-OLED panels, this may be enough to persuade more OLED brands to go with the 4-layer W-OLED panel for their premium offerings. More news should come soon, only not yet. Which brings me to QD-OLED panel supplier Samsung Display, who exhibited its 2025 QD-OLED TV panel capable of hitting 4000 nits on a 3% window, 2200 nits on a 10% window, and 440 nits full screen, though at a bluer color temperature of 10,000 Kelvin, which I confirmed directly with Samsung Display. Interestingly, Samsung Visual Display, the only TV manufacturer who showcased a QD-OLED television at CES, albeit behind closed doors, quotes an HDR brightness of 2000 nits on a 10% window and 390 nits full screen for the 65-inch S95F in HDR movie mode. To make it absolutely clear, Samsung Display is the panel manufacturer that supplies QD-OLED panels to brands like Asus, Dell, MSI, Samsung and Sony, whereas Samsung Visual Display produces the TVs sold under the Samsung name you can find in retail stores. Anyway, Samsung Display, the panel manufacturer, clarified that the improved performance of its 2025 QD-OLED panel does not come from the long-awaited phosphorescent blue, otherwise known as blue OLED, but from a 30% increase in efficiency, resulting in 30% higher luminance without additional power consumption or heat generation. Although Samsung Display has declined to comment officially, a monitor brand inadvertently revealed that an extra OLED emission layer has been introduced to QD-OLED's original 4-stack configuration, giving rise to a 5-stack architecture marketed as 5-layer tandem OLED with EL Gen 3 technology. There is still no sign of an 83-inch QD-OLED panel on the horizon, and it may never materialize, as the surging popularity of OLED gaming monitors makes it more lucrative to focus limited production capacity on smaller, monitor-sized panels than on larger, TV-sized ones. In fact, for the 83-inch S95F, S90F and S85F models, Samsung Visual Display has no option but to source their 83-inch OLED panels from LG Display. I have received confirmation that the 83-inch S95F will use the new 4-stack W-OLED panel, befitting its flagship status with 4K at 165Hz support. Samsung is the third TV brand I hinted at earlier. Now, before anyone starts celebrating that W-OLED has won the battle against QD-OLED, it's wise to take a step back and realize that OLED may lose the war against Mini LED TVs, which offer larger screens and lower prices while delivering good enough picture performance for many consumers. And judging by what's on display at CES, innovation in the mini LED space isn't stopping either, so video enthusiasts can expect even better image quality in the near future, if not this year. The performance of TCL's HVA Pro high-contrast LCD panel with wide viewing angles and halo control technology was impressive. But with no full TV lineup announced at CES, we will have to wait until regional briefings later in the year to see which mini LED models carry these features. Based on what I've seen at CES, the display technology poised to provide the most significant upgrade to mini LED TVs is undoubtedly RGB-Mini LED, demonstrated by Hisense, Samsung, and TCL under various names and at different stages of commercialization. To explain, RGB-Mini LED backlighting uses separate red, green, and blue LEDs to produce pure colors directly, eliminating the inefficiency of converting blue light into red and green, contributing to higher brightness, richer colors, and lower energy consumption compared to conventional mini LED systems. Some of you may remember Sony's XBR8 or X4500 LED LCD TV from back in the year 2008, which also featured RGB LED backlighting. However, that wasn't mini LED and was so expensive to produce that the technology was shelved and never made an appearance again until now, 17 years later. Since then, we've come a long way with mini LED, HDR, and significantly more local dimming zones, all of which demand greater processing power to manage and control effectively. As good as it looked on the show floor, TCL's RGB Mini LED iteration at CES isn't ready for market release yet, with no plans for launch this year, or so we are told. In invite-only sessions, Samsung demoed a 98-inch 8K RGB micro LED TV, citing the micrometer dimensions of its red, green, and blue LEDs as the reasoning behind the name. My concern, though, is that this could blur the lines and weaken the unique proposition of the company's true micro-LED TVs, which are, of course, self-emissive. In any case, Samsung intends to launch its RGB micro-LED TV in the second half of this year, initially a 75 and an 85-inch model in 4K, and a 98-inch model in 8K. Price would be in the ballpark of the Samsung Neo QLEDs, but somewhat higher since it's an even more premium offering. By contrast, Hisense RGB Mini LED implementation, marketed as Trichroma LED TV, seems to be the most market-ready, though it's currently limited to massive screen sizes of 100 or 116 inches. The 116UX is what most countries will get, and its picture quality simply blew me away, presenting the richest, most vibrant colors I've seen from an LCD-based display, with inky blacks and heightened contrast from the glossy coating, as well as OLED-beating light output and brilliant highlights, all amplified by the immersion from the gigantic 116-inch screen. You all know that I'm obsessed with size, and I'm a needs nut, but joking aside, the biggest compliment I can pay to the Hisense 116UX is that when I was reviewing the SDR clips I filmed of the TV to be put into this very video, the footage looked so vibrant and dynamic, it almost felt like HDR, a testament to how incredible the picture quality was. Now, just imagine how stunning it would be to see in real life. Add in a MediaTek Pantonic 800 chipset that provides potentially 4 HDMI 2.1 ports and 4K 165Hz support, and the Hisense 116UX Trichroma LED TV is my pick for the best TV of CES 2025. In a sense, the 116UX is tailor-made to shine under the spotlight of CES. OLED doesn't go as big or as bright, and although micro-LED TVs come in even larger sizes and can match or even exceed the luminance and colors of the UX, unfortunately, the numerous lights reflecting off the micro-LED screens at CES showed up the seams between the tiles, not to mention the haziness plus slightly lifted blacks of the matte anti-glare coating. If you're wondering about which TV to buy, one place where you can get good advice is at Richer Sounds, a trusted British AV retailer with more than 50 stores in the UK, as well as a secure e-commerce platform for online purchases. If you join the company's VIP club, you will also get 6 years warranty included on the vast majority of TVs. So visit your local Richer Sounds store or online at richersounds.com for your next TV purchase. Thanks again for your support. Okay, as impressive as the Hisense 116UX is, there is no way I can squeeze it into our annual TV shootout event, which looks to be a competition between QD-OLED with hyper-efficient EL 3.0 technology and W-OLED using 4-stack panel. Now, I've managed to take some initial measurements from the latter, and you can find out my results by clicking here.